Hello everyone. So today's topic of discussion is similarity of triangles. So what we'll be doing in this, first of all, I'm going to make you understand the difference between similarity and congruency. Okay. And then we'll be going in deep with the similarity of triangles. Okay. We'll be understanding what are the different types of similarities. What all conclusions can we draw if we prove two triangles similar. Then we'll also be understanding the midpoint theorem. And once we are done with that, then we'll move on to the area of triangles between two parallel lines, and then we're going to solve a couple of questions. Okay, so let's start with the first thing, that is what is the difference between similarity and congruency of triangles. Now when you talk about similarity and congruency, we can differentiate the two concepts on the basis of shape and size. So the first one is similarity and second one is congruency. Now when you say that the two triangles are similar, they have the same shape, but their sizes may or may not vary. Okay, their sizes may or may not vary. That is, lengths are basically in proportion, so that proportion can be 1, it can be 1:2, 2:1 also, that's a possibility, but their shapes are same. When you say that the two triangles are congruent, then they have the same shape and they have the same size. Or in other terms, you can say that one triangle is mirror image of the other triangle. So when we talk about congruency, that basically means that one triangle is mirror image of the other triangle. That is, you have the same shape, you have the same size, or the proportions of side is basically equal to 1. This is what is meant by congruency of triangles. Now what we'll be focusing upon is, we'll be focusing on similarity. Similarity is more than sufficient for us to solve the questions in our exam. Okay, so let's get started. First thing is, what are the different types of similarities? There are basically three types of similarities. The first one is known as SSS, which goes by the name of side similarity. What exactly it is, we'll discuss that. Second one is SAS, which is side angle side similarity. And the third one is angle or AAA. You can call that angle, or you can say angle similarity. Okay, there is no difference between the two. We'll discuss that, why is that so. So let's get started with SSS, that is side similarity. Now what exactly it is? If you say that the two triangles are similar using side similarity, so that basically means the sides, the three sides of first triangle are in the same ratio or are in the same proportion with three sides of the second triangle. What do I mean by that? Let's say I have this triangle ABC having sides 5, 6 and 7, and I have this another triangle PQR having sides 10, 12 and 40. So just by looking at the two triangles, I can conclude that AB divided by PQ is equal to BC divided by QR is equal to CA divided by RP, which is equal to 1/2. That is, the three sides are in the same ratio or in same proportion. So whenever this happens, then the two triangles are said to be similar using side similarity or SSS similarity. Once we prove the two triangles similar, what all can we conclude? We'll look on that after a couple of minutes. But this is how you can prove the two triangles similar using side similarity. Now let's move on to the next one, that is side angle side similarity. So let me remove these two, and let's say this angle is 43 degrees and this angle here is also 43 degrees. So you can see in the two triangles, that is AB by PQ is equal to AC by PR, which is equal to 1 by 2, and angle A is equal to angle P. So the two sides of one triangle have the same ratio with the two sides of the another triangle, and the angle between them is equal. Now this part is really very important. The angle has to be in between the two sides that you're taking for consideration. For example, in ABC, the two sides I'm taking for consideration are AB and AC. In PQR, the two sides I'm taking for consideration are PQ and PR. Now this angle A is between AB and AC, this angle P is between PQ and PR, okay? So the angle has to be in between the two sides, then only you can use side angle side similarity. For example, let's say in triangle PQR, if I make angle R equals to 43 degrees, then you can't say that ABC is similar to PQR, that would be incorrect. Okay, that would be incorrect. So anyways, if this angle P is equal to 43, so you can say that triangle ABC is similar to triangle PQR. Okay, this is the symbol, or you can say sign, for similarity. And for congruency, you have a sign something like this. This is what we use for congruency. Anyways, we don't have to go into that. So I guess this SAS is clear, that is side angle side. And the next one is angle angle. So let's see. So this is 40. Let's say this is 80. And let's say this is 60. So look at the two triangles carefully, and can you tell me like which two triangles will be similar? Pause the video, try it yourself. Now when I say which two triangles, I'm looking for the proper naming, like whether you'll say ABC similar to PQR or ACB similar to PQR, like that. Okay, so I'm looking for the proper naming. Pause the video, try it yourself first. Okay, so let's see. So let's talk about triangle ABC first. A is 40, B is 60. Now I know that sum is 180. So this angle will automatically become 80 degrees. And in PQR, P is 40, Q is 80, so R will automatically become 60 degrees. So you'll observe that angle A is equal to angle P, angle B is equal to angle R, and angle C is equal to angle Q. So what you'll say is, you'll say that triangle ABC is similar to triangle PRQ. Remember that, guys, the naming is very important in similar triangles. Naming is very important. You can't just simply say that okay, ABC is similar to PQR in every case. That's not how it works. The naming is an integral part of similarities, and like after a couple of minutes you'll understand this why. There is a reason for that. Anyway, so you have SSS, you have SAS, and then you have AA or AAA, whichever way you want to put this up. Okay. Okay, now the next thing is, what are the conclusions that you can draw once you prove two triangles similar? Okay, so let's say I have the two triangles. Let me call the first one as ABC, and let me call the second one as PQR. And somehow you are able to prove that ABC is similar to PQR, either using SSS or using SAS or using AA. You are able to prove ABC. So let me write here that it's proved that triangle ABC is similar to triangle PQR. Okay. So what all can we conclude? The very first thing that you can conclude is that the sides have the same ratio. That is, AB by PQ is equal to BC by QR is equal to AC by PR. Now you can see that if I interchange the namings, so this will also change. That is, if I would have said that ABC is similar to PRQ, then AB by PR would be equal to BC by RQ and so on and so forth. Okay, this is what matters. So let's say this is equal to some ratio k. Let's take it to be k. K can be greater than 1, k can be less than 1 also. That means it can be between 0 and 1, it can be greater than 1 also. It will never be negative because they are sides, right? This is the first thing you can say. Second thing that you can conclude is that if the two triangles are similar, then their corresponding angles are equal, which means angle A is equal to angle P, angle B is equal to angle Q, and angle C is equal to angle R. This is the second thing that we can conclude. Okay, this is the second thing that I can conclude. Now again, the naming is important. If I would have said that ABC is similar to PRQ, then A would be corresponding to P, B would be corresponding to R, and C would be corresponding to Q. Okay, so these are the things which will change. Third thing that we can say that if the sides of two triangles have the ratio k, then the perimeters of two triangles also have the ratio k. So if I talk about perimeter of triangle ABC, now what is perimeter? Is nothing but sum of the three sides. So that is AB plus BC plus CA. And what is perimeter of PQR? That is PQ plus QR plus RP. So let's take the ratio. Ratio will become AB plus BC plus CA divided by PQ plus QR plus RP. Now from the first conclusion, that is from here, can I say AB will be KPQ, BC will be KQR, and AC will be KPR? Can I say this, yes or no? So instead of AB plus BC plus CA, I can write K times PQ plus QR plus PR divided by PQ plus QR plus PR. Cancel these two and you will get your answer as K. So if the sides have the ratio of K, then their perimeter will also have a ratio of K. Fourth, if the sides of two similar triangles are in the ratio K, then the corresponding medians, altitudes, and angle bisector are also in the ratio of K. And the corresponding medians, altitudes, and angle bisector will also be in the ratio of K. So I'm going to prove for one of them. The remaining two you can prove it in the same way. However, the conclusion is more important because we'll be solving applications or the questions based on these results. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a perpendicular from A and similarly I'm going to have a perpendicular from P. Now in this word, the word corresponding is very important. I said corresponding medians, corresponding angle bisectors, and corresponding perpendiculars. The word corresponding is important. So this vertex A is corresponding to vertex P. So I'm going to drop a perpendicular from A as well as from P. Let's talk about two triangles. One is triangle ABD and another is triangle PQS. In the two triangle, you will observe that Angle B is equal to angle Q. Angle D is equal to angle S because they both are 90 degrees. And you can say that the third angle will automatically be equal because sum is 180 and there are only 3 angles. If two are equal, then the third one has to be equal. You can simply say that the two triangles are going to be similar. If the two triangles are similar, then I can go on saying that AB divided by PQ will be equal to AD divided by PS. Now AB by PQ is equal to K, so AD by PS will also be equal to K. So you can see it from this conclusion number 1. Okay. So same way you can prove it for angle bisectors, and same you can prove it for medians also. Okay. So in case of medians, you will be requiring SSS similarity. In case of angle bisectors, you will be requiring SES similarity. But the point is your ratio will come out to be K. Okay, one last conclusion. So if the sides are in the ratio K, then the area is in the ratio of K square. Now what is area of a triangle? Half into base into height. I'm writing my fifth point up here. If I talk about area of triangle ABC, that is half into BC into AD. And if I talk about area of triangle PQR, sorry, that is half into PS, or let me write the base first, that is half into QR into PS. Divide the two, you can cancel half and half. Now BC by QR, this is equal to K. This is from the first conclusion. And AD by PS is also equal to K. This is from the fourth conclusion. So K into K will simply become K square. So if sides are in the proportion of K, then the areas are in the proportion of K square, remember this. So these are the 5 conclusions of similarity. So once you prove two triangles similar, these are the 5 things which you can state, and these are very important 5 things. Okay, remember these 5 things. Okay, now moving on, we'll talk about one more thing, that is the midpoint theorem. So let's talk about this. So what does this theorem say? So this theorem goes something like this. Let's say there is a triangle PQR. A is the midpoint of P and A is a midpoint of PQ and B is midpoint of PR. Okay, so the theorem goes something like this. If you have a triangle PQR and if you take A to be the midpoint of PQ and if you take B which is midpoint of QR and if you connect AB and if you connect or if you join AB, then the result is AB is half of QR or AB is parallel to QR. The generalized statement of this theorem is, if in a triangle you take midpoint of two sides and if you connect them, then the line segment joining the two midpoints will be half of the third side and will be parallel to the third side. This is the generalized statement of the midpoint theorem. And we are going to prove this. So let's see what we can do. So we're going to talk about two triangles here, that is triangle PAB and triangle PQR. So I'll say that PA by PQ is equal to PB by PR, which is equal to 1 by 2. And you'll also realize that angle P is equal to angle P, which is common for both the triangles. So using SAS similarity, I can prove the two triangles similar. I can prove the two triangles similar. And once I've proven them to be similar, then this angle, let's call this 1, will be equal to this angle Q. This angle B, let's call this 2, will be equal to this angle R. And these angles are only equal when the two lines are parallel, which means AB has to be parallel to QR, proved. Second thing is, if the two triangles are similar, then the ratio of the sides, the ratio of the corresponding sides is equal. So if PA by PQ is equal to PB by PR, which is equal to 1 by 2, then AB by QR will also be equal to 1 by 2. Then AB by QR will also be equal to 1 by 2. So you have proven that the line connecting the midpoints is half the third side. So this is also proved. Okay, so this is what you need to remember for the midpoint theorem. Now remember that the converse of this is not true. The converse of this is not true. Now what is the converse? The converse is if it is given to you that AB is parallel to QR. If it is given to you that AB is parallel to QR, then it's not necessary that AB will be half of QR. Then it's not necessary that AB will be half of QR. If they are parallel, they can be divided into a different ratio. For example, PA by AQ is 3:5. This is also 3:5. So if AB is parallel to QR, that doesn't stand for the fact that AB will be half of QR. Or A and B are the midpoints of P, Q and PR. But if A and B are the midpoints, then AB is half of QR and AB is parallel to QR. Okay, this is what is known as the midpoint theorem. Next thing is triangle between two parallel lines. So what you need to remember is that, let me make the triangles first. So let's say one is ABP and another is ABQ. We are here to discuss the areas of these two triangles, or the relationship between the areas of these two triangles. Now when you talk about area, if I talk about area of triangle PAB, it's going to be half into base into height. So what I can do is I can take base to be AB, and for height I can drop a perpendicular from P. So the perpendicular will look something like this. Let's call this height H, and let's call this point L. So you can call that as PL or height H. Similarly, let me draw a perpendicular from Q also, because that will also be required. Let's call this point M. Now if you talk about area of triangle AQB, so its area again will be half into base into height, which will be half into AB into, you can either write QM or H. Now since P and Q are lying on a line which is parallel to the base, or let me put it this way, let's call this line as L and let me call this line as M. So L and M are parallel. Now the perpendicular distance between any two parallel lines is always constant. That's why they are parallel lines, right? So PL will be automatically equal to QM. So the two heights are equal, the two bases are equal, so their areas will automatically be equal. So remember that the two triangles between parallel lines having the same base always have equal areas. Triangles lying between two parallel lines having the same base always have equal areas. So area of triangle PAB will be equal to area of triangle AQB. So this is more or less the theory part which you need to know for the similarity, the midpoint theorem and triangles between parallel lines. In the next video, we'll be solving a couple of questions based on what we have learned in this video. Okay, and as far as this video is concerned, that will be all for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have any comments, any questions, any concerns, do let me know in the comment box. Keep watching and keep learning. Thank you so much.